I have customized 9 planners with Plum Planner. I'm in my account now looking at all of the things that I've done over the years. And so here are the things that I recommend ordering and upgrading and the things that I recommend avoiding. All right, let me begin. I am looking at my computer right now at different layouts, and I'm gonna customize and walk through one. But the first thing that I want to note is that I have to first decide, do I want a weekly? Do I want an hourly? Do I want a daily? This is not me saying what I personally would or wouldn't do, but what I recommend. I recommend being honest with yourself. Okay, so let me tell you actually what I would do. I would get a weekly because the idea of a daily in theory is like, I'm gonna wake up, I'm gonna have my tea, I'm gonna jot stuff down, and then in reality, I don't do that. Some people do. I do not. And so it winds up being a waste, and then I'm actually upset and give up on the planner because I never actually did with it what I purchased it for and what I had intended to do. So when you come here and you see all of these beautiful layouts, beautiful options, I want you to think about realistically what you will do. If you are not a daily person, do not get a daily planner, okay? It is just gonna stress you out and overwhelm you. So I'm gonna go ahead and look at the weekly overview, and I'm gonna take a look at that. Brings me to my next point. When you get to the weekly, if you are a weekly person, and you have the horizontal or vertical, you might think that you are a vertical person, but if you're a horizontal person, get what you're gonna use. I think that it's worth it if you really can see and visualize how you will use it if it's something different than what you've done in years past. But if you're really not sure and you just want to kind of transition to that, but you're not sure if it'll work for you, you might wind up frustrated because it doesn't fit the way that you will use a planner. So when it comes to the horizontal or the vertical layouts, look at all of them and decide, but be honest with yourself and don't pick something you won't use. So I'm first looking at the covers. All right, the covers, usually when I'm ordering a planner, this takes me 2 hours. I try to order on night 2, and night 1, I try to just look at covers, because what happens is I get so exhausted looking at covers, I can't finish the planner. So now I do the planner order in 2 nights, and night 1 is just the cover. Let me tell you why. Look at this. There are a million covers, and then after the cover, right, like you have so many. You've got the top picks, you've got classic, you've got quotes, you've got the academic. I mean, there are so many. Look at this cute, adorable, look at this little outer space one. I love that. They have seasonal ones, which are really fun. You can also ask them to perforate so that you can interchange your covers throughout the year, and they just have some really adorable designs. And then they have letters and monograms. So there are so many to pick from, and it feels really personal and it's very fun. So I would give yourself enough time to do the planner cover. Now, the other thing that makes it difficult is I would always recommend, unless you really don't want to, personalizing it with your name, your initial, your monogram, something like that. And for me, I can never do this quickly because when I look at this, okay, let me go to the next one. It asks, okay, I just picked this like purple amethyst geode cover. Okay, amethyst agate, okay. It asks you, do you want to personalize it in the center? Do you want it to be at the bottom? Do you want to add the year? Do you want to do text? Do you want to do none? And I'm like, okay, let me do the center. Okay, so then I do a text option. Okay, let me see. I want to have the purple, but you know what? I like the half moon, and then like maybe I just want, no, do I want my name? Do I want my monogram? Do I want my initial? Do I want my initials as my first initial or my first and last initial? And then you just put your letter, and then you wind up clicking through a million different fonts, colors. It takes so long. So give yourself time, but I do recommend personalizing it because that's kind of the point of the planner. Unless you really want something very plain, put your initial, put your name, make it you, just because it's more fun that way. Okay, so once you get to the layout of your weekly, I would not recommend using the custom text layouts, and here's why. You can leave them blank here, and I think that that is better than putting to do or priorities, because you're gonna have this planner for a whole year, and your year can change, your seasons can change, and sometimes you put something like that in priority, or you know, your fitness, and then there's like a few weeks or a month where something really busy happens, you're on vacation, and you wind up not using it. So I think it's easy to take 1 minute per week and just jot down each of your categories and do that rather than risking the chance that you personalize it and then it winds up unusable because the categories are off. Let me know in the comments if you ever made a Plum planner before and you've wound up customizing it and it's been perfect the whole year, or if it's kind of not worked out for you so well. So I'm curious about that, but I do not recommend the custom text layout. Now, the next thing that I also don't recommend doing is going overboard with the special holidays and dates. Okay, you will have seen a few videos ago where I'm like, I'm adding all the holidays. We are gonna put all the US holidays. We are going to do all the religious holidays. And it was like, what religion? I'm like, all the religions. I wanna know what everyone's celebrating, everything. I'm adding the moon phases. I'm not saying don't add the other religious holidays. I actually think it's really good to have that awareness. But like with the moon phases, did I really need the moon phases? When I'm looking at some of the religious holidays, right? Like I was raised Jewish. I have family members that are Christian. And when I looked at the Jewish holidays, I'm like, I don't know that I need every single one of these on here. And then when I talked to someone who was Christian about some of these, there were a few and they were like, I don't know that you need every single one of these on here. Now, of course, it's a very personal decision which holidays you want. Some of the holidays overlapped and it took so much space. I didn't have any room left on the monthly for a particular day. So I recommend being a little bit more strategic and mindful with your monthly and how many different holidays you're putting on there. I didn't say this at the beginning, but I also want to say that out of all of the planners, I have a couple of them here. This is the only size I will ever do again. This is a 7x9. I did one planner that was the biggest one. I think it's an 8x11, 8.5 by 11, something like that. It's big. It was way too big. It was just like, it felt like it was just overtaking my desk. I did a lot of add-ons. I think it was my first Plum planner ever. It was very thick and it was just too much. So even this is like a little bit thick. I love this one, but it's just like a little bit too much. So in terms of size, I recommend the 7x9. That's just me. The small size is gonna be too small for me. The large size is too big. It's a little bit of a Goldilocks situation. So I recommend the 7x9 for sure. Another thing I forgot to mention real quick is these coils. I have only ever done coils. I will only ever do coils. The whole like order a planner and have it, I think you can choose to have it sent to you without being bound is crazy to me. You can do discs. They have some upgrade coil options as well, but I just like this. It has always hung in there no matter how much I'm taking it with me or moving about. It's like very sturdy and they're not so hard that like sometimes I feel like coils are designed in a way that it's almost hard to like open and close your planner. And this one, I mean, these coils, like I said, I will only ever do coils with Plum because it's just been perfect. So I forgot to mention those when you're picking your layout, but the size and the coils, that is an absolute, I wouldn't even say the word is deal breaker. I just like know that I am always gonna get a coil, always 7x9. Yes, okay, I'm clicking through here. Not bound or punch, loose pages. Okay. We are not paying $60 or $70 or $80 for someone to send us some paper in the mail, okay? And you know I love Plum. That's not Plum's fault. That's people who want it. I'm curious, maybe I'm being a little bit not understanding. I wonder if anybody has ordered this and they're like, well, here's why. Like, are you binding it and why wouldn't you just pay? Because the silver coil binding is included and it's really nice. So maybe I'm missing something. Enlighten me, please. Okay, next I'm moving on into all of the other add-on. Now you'll see here in this particular planner, you can have 70 additional pages. You get to a point, I think, where it won't fit. So you have to be mindful. So I want to do a very quick, I don't know if rapid fire, I don't think I'm going to move that quick, but a very quick, what I would add, what I would skip, just because I think that it can be very easy to overdo it with extra pages. Okay, so here we go. Here's my list. Starting out with coloring pages. No, that's an absolute no. I love the idea of your planner being a place where you can kind of like relax and, you know, get yourself organized. But for me, this is not a coloring book. So the coloring pages are a no. The fitness pages, also a no. I think that working out is great. I'm trying to do it more, but putting something in there to track almost seems like it would overwhelm me in a way that would be counterproductive. So I'm not gonna add those. The to-dos, yes, I have some of them in here and I love them. The to-dos, I actually did some to-dos dispersed through the months and then I added some in the back. So you get 1, 2, 3, 4 to-do chunks, and I really like that because you can, whenever you're feeling like I need to make a list, it could be something that is happening right now. It could be, oh, I'm going on vacation in 3 weeks and I don't want to forget. Let me start my list now, things that I need to pack and get done before. I just like having these to-dos, and honestly, they're the perfect size. I really don't ever run out of space or need more. So this has been amazing, and I would order this every time with my planner. Next, scrapbook. Also no, I can't imagine scrapbooking my planner. I think it would make it thick and bulky, and I just don't think that's the purpose of the planner. I do think it's nice to reflect on your year and think about some of the happy memories, but I would rather just make my own like Shutterfly book for the year and scrapbook that way than try to shove it all in my planner. Extra lines, yes. Dotted, yes. Graph paper, yes. All of the extra just general note pages I recommend. Now you only get your 70 pages, and to be honest, I don't recommend using 70 because your planner will be so thick and so big. But if you are like, I love having like a mini notebook in the back, give yourself 20 line pages. If you love graph paper, if you like to doodle on like dot grid, definitely, I think you can put them in increments. Let me see here on the list. I think you can do increments of 10 or 20. Yeah, you can do 10 to 70 for in the back tab. And then for dispersed, you can do anywhere from 1 to 5 pages per month. Again, be mindful of getting to that 70 total, but I love extra pages because you just never know when you're gonna need to write something down, take some notes, add something. Maybe you wanna do a quick like mid-year reflection that's not like a whole big reflection or journaling section. I just always love adding extra pages. Next up, the reflection. Nope, I wouldn't do that. Again, I like doing a reflection when I feel moved to do a reflection, but if I knew that I had to track my reflection or continue to track my fitness or like do so much of it, it would feel overwhelming. So if you do want to do add-ons that are above and beyond lines or dotted or just extra note pages, I would pick, if this is a new planner to you, 2 or 3 absolute max, because if you do more than that, you might be like, I put way too much in this planner and I'm overwhelmed and I can't even do any of it. So just keep that in mind. Next up, stickers. This is a strong maybe. So as I said, I just went back through my Plum account. I started buying from them in 2020 and I've been really, really impressed with their quality the whole time. I feel like sometimes when you're loyal to a brand, you notice that the quality has changed or things have changed over the years. And the end of this year will be 5 years that I've been buying stuff from them, and their paper, their quality, their shipping, their communication has been great the whole time. So I would continue to order from them. Anyway, so I said that I was looking at my orders and I did forget that I have ordered stickers from them. They're super cute. I like them because they're small. They're not as huge as maybe some of the Happy Planner ones. Sometimes those are so big you can't fit them in a 7x9. So initially I was like, maybe, but I think that I would consider. If I was getting to the end of my planner organizing and add-ons and I saw the price and I was like, oh, that's like a little bit more than I wanted to spend, I think what I would do is forego stickers, make my planner order, and then when they go on sale, or maybe if I have a coupon code or something, order some stickers then, right? But I don't think that they're necessary. They are cute though. I got some holiday ones and I really like them. So stickers were maybe for me, but that could be like I'm not gonna get them now, but I'll order them later. Okay, and I'll try to do these ones rapid fire. Budget, no. Bills, no. I do both of those things electronically. Cleaning pages, no. I will say this, I am in project season right now. I'm trying to clean my house before the holidays and before I put the pumpkins out. I could just use this or a note on my phone. I know I'm not gonna do like a cleaning section, so that is a no. Travel, no, I'm just gonna look at the flagged email that I saved from Delta or whoever. I'm not gonna jot down my flight number in my planner. I'm just not going to. So travel is a no. And my last one is gratitude, which I gave a maybe 2. I like to just sort of jot those things down throughout my planner and not have a dedicated gratitude section. However, one thing is interesting to me, the idea that you could make it a goal, spend 30 seconds a day, jot down one moment from the day that you're grateful for. And even though it might not seem like anything in the moment, I have a feeling at the end of the year, it would be really fun to look back on that. So that one gets a strong maybe. Anyway, in conclusion, I'm always happy to answer any questions. So leave me a comment if you ever are designing this planner or any planner really, and you're like, do I think I'll use it? I'm happy to talk through it, but my main piece of advice is to not go overboard. You don't want something so heavy, chock full, clunky that you're like, this is way too much, I'm not gonna use it. So ask yourself the questions of what you're gonna use. If you wanna do an upgrade or an add-on, think about what you realistically think would be something that you would utilize daily or weekly. And don't do too much. You can always add it next year if you want. So anyway, I hope this was helpful. I was really surprised to find out how many Plum orders I placed. These are a couple of my old planners. So anyway, I hope this was helpful. Like I said, happy to answer any questions for you. So if you enjoyed this, like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.